Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the Holler. It's Mike again, and video number 2 of the day, one raised bed done. And this is a 4-foot by 8-foot bed. It's got the galvanized panels on it, treated 2x6s around the base of it, and rough cut local hardwood lumber as the 4x4 posts. This is real easy to do. Listen, I am not a carpenter. I'm far from it. But this is a very simple thing to do. And all you do, and these 4x4s I think are 44 inches long. These are a leftover from a local mill where guy cuts and he makes like cribbing and stuff like that. And I don't know if he sells these as cribbing or these are leftovers after he cuts everything. But these are just rough cut hardwood, local hardwood 4x4s, oak, poplar, cherry, pine. I mean, it's all in there. And basically what you do is you take your 8-foot sheet of galvanized metal, corrugated metal, you lay it down. You take your posts and you slide them up underneath of it, one on each end, square it up, and then one right in the middle at 4 foot. And once you get everything squared up and even, you just screw the metal onto the posts. Now what I use is the 1-inch, see if it comes up backwards here. Nope, good. So the 1-inch Tex, they're roofing screws, and they've got the little rubber gaskets on them. You don't have to use those, but those seem to work the best. And like I said, 1 inch is perfect because you're really just holding the metal to the post itself. You're not really needing to dig in 3 or 4 inches there. So I use those, and I do both side panels. They're 8 feet long, so I do both side panels, and then I take one sheet and I cut it in half at 4 feet. And then you come in and you screw it to the ends. Do it on both ends, obviously. And then you come in and you put your 2x6s as a frame around the bottom. And what it does is it provides that stability all the way around the bottom. And the treated lumber is not in contact with the soil that'll be inside of this. Now you can take and run a board or two from the middle to the middle. This thing is very sturdy, but when you get to the middle, you get a little bit of play. Okay, and though you do have that 2x6 right there, you get a little bit of play. So you could take a simple 1x2 or a 2x4 or something like that, untreated, or however you want to do it, and you can just screw it to one side or both sides of the post here. You can actually even come down a little lower on the side, drill a hole through both sides, put you all thread all the way through, and just put a nut in a washer, or a washer and a nut on each end of it, and that'll help stabilize it as well. You don't have to do that. These hold up well. Most of what we're filling this up with, for the most part, is old punky wood, rotten dead wood and stuff. Some some old straw, and then we'll throw in on top of that maybe some grass clippings and stuff like that, and then soil and compost on top of that. Now don't get anything in there that's actively going to compost within at least a month before you're ready to plant, because we made that mistake when we built our first set of these. Now a lot of folks always say, well, you know, these are going to rot. Yeah, we're 3 years into the ones that we got, not an issue yet. So yes, we know they will decompose, but we're fine with that. These wouldn't be too difficult to replace anyways. And the galvanized metal, people say, well, the zinc and stuff like that's going to leach into the soil. Listen, if this is going to leach into the soil anyway, it's only going to go in the first couple inches. It's not going to make it all the way through the bed. And we don't plant, you know, inside of the posts anyways. We always plant on the outside of the posts in. So if there is, it's zinc. It's it's a mineral that the body needs anyways, and there's not enough high levels that's going to leach in at any given time that's going to cause any kind of toxicity for you. All right, so that's, I mean, honestly, that's it in a nutshell. It's very simple. There's nothing fancy. I did all of this with just a screw gun and a circular saw, a speed square, and a pencil and a tape measure. That's all you need. You can take 10 snips and cut this metal because it's pretty thin gauge, but it's strong enough to hold up. These are the beds that we built over the last couple years. That's chives, by the way. There was some herbs and stuff in here, but these have held up really well. There is not bulged out. A couple of them, if they do bulge out, it's not hard. I got to just readjust the soil and stuff in there. So it's not difficult at all. And yes, it's currently still a mess because the weed eater's down. I had to order a new carburetor for the weed eater, so I haven't got the weed eat yet. So no judgment on my lawn. But these have held up absolutely fine. And like I said, these are good and sturdy. Once you get the soil in there, the soil, once it gets compacted and stuff, it holds up pretty well. On these, our centers, we did smaller or shorter centers that didn't stand up just because we were trellising, and even though they wouldn't get in the way, they would get in the way. So we just used the shorter ones on the center of these. This is what's left over the kids' sandbox. They outgrew their jungle gym, so we gifted it away as it was gifted to us, to a fella who's got 4 little boys, so they're going to get good use out of that. And we'll get this straightened up over here, and that's where these 2 additional beds are going to go. And you can see from the original ones, now these are the square U type shape that we did. We are starting to get just a little bit of a bow or a bulge out from this one. And these are the first ones we built in 2020, but it's still pretty daggone secure. So not an issue at all. And hopefully I can get these topped off this week with the compost and everything and get to planting. All right, so for those raised beds that I just built, you're going to need 3 of the sheets of the corrugated metal. Get the corrugated galvanized. 3 sheets, they're $20 each. The rough cut 4x4s, the guy wanted to give them to me, but I'm not going to take anything from a man who works for a living like that. And I know he works hard and he stays busy. The man takes his own tractor, goes in the woods, he harvests his own trees, he hauls them out, he brings them home, he does everything himself. I'm not going to take from somebody like that, even if they're going to give. That man's got time, effort, and sweat into that. I'm going to pay him for them. So we bought 12 of them. I paid him for them. And then the 2x6s, I can't remember what the price of those were. The ones on the side, I did 10 footers because if you get 8 footers, and anybody knows if you measure these boards, some of them are 8 foot, some of them are 8 foot 5/8, some of them are 7 foot 2/3. So it's better for your side to get the 10 footers and just slap them on there, leave your overhang on each end, measure in between at each end, and then cut your end pieces. And those are out of the 8 footers. So even with everything we bought, including I think 4 regular 2x4s that I bought, 4 or 6 of them, I think I bought 6 regular 2x4s, 2x4x8s for the next chickshaw, and everything, including the metal, the treated 2x6s, the 2x4s, all come to like $200. Now, of course, that's not including screws and stuff like that I try to keep abundance of those on hand because I'm always into something. I'm always screwing something up. So whether I'm screwing it in or screwing it up, I'm screwing something anyways. Don't take that the wrong way. But I keep an abundance of that kind of stuff on hand. So, you know, you get $200, you can build one of these raised beds. And they're going to last a very, very long time. And when you put your base down, always use something like we've got the Typar. And again, no judgment, the weed eater's broke. We use Typar or just ground cover, and it allows water to go through, seep through and everything like that. And yes, if you get any dirt on the ground, it will root in right there and stuff will grow on top of it. So what we do is we'll, even on, if we don't use this, we cut this out of the center. So I took the Typar and I cut the Typar out of the center once I set the bed on it, and then I laid cardboard down. That way it had direct to the soil, cardboard, no plastic in it, and then we filled on top of that. And that's exactly what we'll do over here, is as I clear the rest of the kids' crap out of here and get this weed whacked and pull all this mulch back, because that's all pine mulch. I'll pull all that back. We'll set the beds in place. I'll cut the Typar out in the middle of the bed, and then pile my cardboard down, then my straw or my punky wood, and then my straw, and then everything else from there. So we'll actually utilize a good portion of this space here as well. That's going to be it. I mean, like I said, it's not difficult. Anybody can do it. You can watch a YouTube video, but it's just real simple. It's just, and you can grow. There's 4 foot by 8 foot a bed that you can grow pretty much anything in. You can grow corn in these. We grew corn in them. You can grow corn in them. You can grow horseradish. You can grow tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, pumpkins, you name it, you can grow it in there. So if you can plant it in the ground, even potatoes, if you can plant it in the ground, you can put it in here. That's it. Not going to drag it out. Got more to do. Get and stay prepared. Take care. God bless y'all. Stay free.